A man must take a journey of no return to get the cup of the gods, to save the one he loves, the dying princess. What happened to him will blow your mind. This is the Nook of ancient and modern tales, where stories of the past live again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let us continue. Long ago, in the kingdom of Umuoka, there lived a princess named
Oh my
Adanna,
gosh.
beloved by all.
Look at me.
Her laughter was soft
I'm
as the
so
flute,
beautiful.
her grace like the drifting petals of a palm flower. But her heart belonged not to a prince nor a warrior. It belonged to Ekene, the blacksmith's son. They met in secret by the river each dawn, a place where dew kissed the grass and their hearts spoke freely. He forged her little bracelets from silver scraps, and she gifted him palm flowers in return. Their love was pure, but it was forbidden. When the king discovered their secret, his fury shook the palace. "My daughter," he roared, "will not marry a blacksmith's son. The crown will never touch the hands of a man who smells of smoke and iron." Weeks later, darkness fell over Umuoka. The princess grew weak, her skin dimmed like fading moonlight, and her breath turned shallow. The royal priest cast his cowries and cried out, "The princess has been touched by the spirits. Her soul lies between worlds. Only the cup of the spirits, hidden beyond the mountains of echoes, can restore her life." The king summoned all brave men of the land and declared, "Whosoever returns with the cup of the spirits shall marry my daughter and rule after me." 4 men accepted the challenge. 1. Obidi, a prince from a rival land, proud and cunning. 2. Kalu, a ruthless hunter, whose heart was as sharp as his spear. 3. Ofoma, a boastful trader, clever with words but lazy at heart. 4. And Ekene, the humble blacksmith's son, whose love burned brighter than gold. The king frowned when he saw Ekene among them. "You," he hissed, "you think the gods will walk with a boy who works the fire." But Adanna, weak on her bed, whispered, "Father, let him go. His heart is truer than any crown." And so they set out, 4 men walking toward destiny. They entered the forest of voices, where the air hummed with unseen spirits. Every rustle sounded like a whisper, every step echoed like a warning. At dusk, an old woman appeared, carrying a wooden staff, adorned with cowries and feathers. "Travelers," she said, "the forest sees what lies within you. Speak the truth of your heart, or it shall swallow you whole." Obidi laughed. "I have no fear of trees." He mocked her and pushed forward. Moments later, the roots of the forest rose like snakes, wrapping around his body. His scream echoed once, and then silence. The others trembled. The old woman turned her cloudy eyes on them. Pride is a fire that burns its owner first. And she vanished into the wind. The 3 remaining travelers reached a high cliff where the shadows moved like living things. A spirit spoke from the dark. "Only those whose hands are clean may climb down to the valley below. Those who have stolen or lied will never see daylight again." Ofoma, the trader, scoffed. "I have never lied," he shouted. But as he stepped forward, the ground beneath him crumbled. He fell screaming into the black pit, his echo fading into nothingness. At last, only Kalu and Ekene reached the final trial, the river of sacrifice. Its waters glowed blue like the night sky, and a deep voice rumbled from beneath the current. "To cross this river, you must give what you value most. Only then will you find the cup of the spirits." Kalu smirked. "I value my life more than anything, and I shall not give it." He sat down by the shore, crossing his arms. If the princess's life depends on this river, then let her die. I will not die for her. Ekene looked at the water and whispered, I value love, and if my life must be its price, then let it be so. He stepped into the glowing current. The water parted gently, forming a shining bridge. He crossed safely to the other side, his courage illuminating the night. Kalu watched in silence, envy growing in his heart. Ekene followed the river's path into a cave glowing with sacred light. At its center stood an altar carved from stone, and upon it sat the cup of the spirits, carved from crystal, swirling with mist. A voice filled the cave. This cup holds both life and death. Drink from it, and your soul shall remain pure. Take it away, and your fate will be tested. Ekene bowed deeply and whispered, I take it not for myself, but for the one I love. The spirit stirred approvingly. The cave trembled, and the cup lifted into his hands. Ekene returned to the river of sacrifice, exhausted but victorious. Kalu, who had waited all along, rushed to meet him with a wide smile. You made it, my brother, he cried. You did it. But in his eyes burned greed. As Ekene handed him the cup for a moment's rest, Kalu struck him across the face with a stone. Ekene fell unconscious. Kalu seized the cup of the spirits and ran toward Umuoka, shouting to himself, the kingdom will never know who truly found it. He did not know that Ekene carried two cups. The spirits had given him one for life and one for death, but they looked alike. No eye could tell the difference. Kalu ran through the gates of Umuoka before sunrise, shouting that he had conquered the spirits. The king rejoiced and ordered that the cup be brought to the princess immediately. The royal priest approached and said solemnly, the man who brings the cup of the spirits must first drink from it to prove it is pure. Kalu raised the cup proudly. I fear nothing, he said, drinking deeply. But his eyes widened. His hand trembled. He felt something twist inside him. The priest gasped. This is the cup of death, he cried. The crowd screamed as Kalu's body stiffened, his face frozen in horror before collapsing on the floor and die. The king rose in shock. What madness is this? He thundered. The priest, trembling, fell to his knees. Great king, there were two cups, one for life and one for death. Where then, cried the king, is the cup of life? A guard ran in shouting, my king, there's a man at the gate, half dead, holding something glowing. The king hurried out, his robes sweeping the floor. When he saw Ekene, his heart pounded. Ekene opened his eyes slowly and whispered, I brought it for her. The priest examined the cup, nodding with tears. This is the true cup of the spirits. The king turned to the maidens. Give it to my daughter. Let her drink. Gently, they raised Adanna's head and poured the sacred drink into her mouth. For a moment, nothing happened. Then her eyes fluttered open, and her chest rose with a deep breath. She lives, cried the priest. The gods have shown mercy. The king was happy and hugged Ekene and said, you have done what even princes could not. You have conquered death itself. I am sorry for always looking down on you. Adanna rose and ran to him, her eyes full of tears. You came back to me. The people cheered, their voices shaking the earth. Drums thundered across the courtyard, and the old priest lifted his staff to the sky in praise of the gods. In the midst of the celebration, the king rose to his feet, his staff shining under the moonlight. The drummers paused, and all eyes turned to him. He looked down at Ekene, the blacksmith's son who had conquered death itself. and his voice thundered across the courtyard. For what Ekene has done, he shall be rewarded greatly. I give him my daughter's hand in marriage, and he shall be the next king after me. There is no man more worthy of the throne." The people roared in joy. Adanna ran into Ekene's arms, her laughter like music in the night. Fireworks lit the sky above Umuoka as the drums resumed, beating with the rhythm of destiny. And so, the son of a blacksmith became king, not by birth, but by heart.
Hail the king and queen! Long may they reign! The victory is ours tonight!